Hello everyone. This video we're going to talk about an unmanaged PoE switch. In order to understand that, we're going to need some basic knowledge first. First, what is PoE? PoE is the technology to transmit power and data through one single Ethernet cable. It brings us great convenience, much more safer than just regular connections, and all we need is one Ethernet cable to solve all our demands for our IP devices. And then, what is a PoE switch? A PoE switch is a hardware that will help us connect IP devices to our network. It's basically used as exchanging data and providing power. So the PoE signals can provide power and data to our IP devices with the PoE switch. So you can categorize the PoE switch in many ways. We today are going to categorize them into two: a managed PoE switch and an unmanaged PoE switch. Let's talk about the managed PoE first. The managed PoE means when you connect IP devices to this PoE switch, you will have some configurations to do, or you can manage the input, the output. And also there are many features and many applications. Although, since there is so much to do with a managed PoE switch, the price will skyrocket a lot. Although, because we can do so much with a managed PoE switch, the price costs much more than unmanaged PoE switch. So an unmanaged PoE switch is much more simple. It is designed to allow us to immediately plug and display IP devices to our network system. There's no configurations needed, and the cost is much more lower than a managed PoE switch. So if we are thinking of quickly connecting some IP devices to our network system, unmanaged PoE switch can do a lot of work for us, and the cost is low as well. Now let's take a look at some of our fast cabling unmanaged PoE switch. So first we have our common PoE switch. You can see there are three models right here. They're different from the size. Also, you can see this one has 4 ports and 2 ports. These 2 ports are the uplink ports. You can see them as where the initial data comes in and where it goes out. Then right here, it will gather the data from the IP devices and upload it to the network or to our recording device as well. So this is our most basic one. This one has the power supply built in, so we can just plug it to the AC connector and it will provide power for our PoE signal. And also all 4 ports will provide 30 watts of power maximum. Depends on how much the IP devices need. And this is a very compact size, so this can fit in most places. It's very convenient. And if we have more devices, we can choose this 8-port PoE switch. So this one is also the same as this one with the same power output, same bandwidth. The only difference is it has more ports for us to connect IP devices. And yes, of course, it also has a power supply built in, so connecting to an alternating current is the way to power it. Now let's take a look at the biggest one here. The biggest one here has 16 ports and also has 2 uplink ports as well. These are still supply gigabit bandwidth because a lot of devices will connect to it. This means there's a chance of massive data flushing in once in a while. And this one also has an SFP port right here. SFP is a special module for fiber optic links. So we can use this one to transmit data using fiber optic links as well. Because this is a big device, it can process that much data and upload it to a fiber optic link to transmit it further or faster. These all are designed for 30 watts of power output, which is pretty enough for most medium-sized IP devices. And this one has some indicators which will allow you to monitor the status of this PoE switch, like the power and data output. And these 3 common PoE switches, they all have the watchdog function. So whenever there is a malfunction at a connection, it will automatically shut down that port and reboot it again to see if that can solve the issue. Oh, now we're done with these 3 common PoE switches. So let's take a look at a different unmanaged PoE switch. So this is our high power PoE switch. This 95 watts high power PoE switch has 2 ports that can output 90 watts of power, which will support IE 02.3 BT specification. This is PoE++, which can also output high power up to 70 watts remaining at the IP device. This can help us provide power, which PoE signals with high power, to PoE devices which require that much. And the rest are regular PoE ports. This one also has 2 SFP module ports right here. This will allow us to use, a high-speed fiber optic link as well. And it also has indicators on this side for us to monitor the status of this PoE switch. And like our common PoE switch, this one also has power supply integrated. So the power supply will be provided once we connect it to our alternating current. And now let's take a look at our last model. Our last type is our outdoor PoE switch. So when we have wanting to set up a network outdoors, an outdoor PoE switch is what we need, because all these electronic devices are vulnerable towards water and dust, and this metal casing will help us protect it very nicely. And also a power supply integrated, so we use this connector to connect to our alternating current outside. And make sure you ground the connectors, because this is a metal device that is for our safety. And it has 1 port right here for our network, the LAN port, and these 4 ports will help us extend our network to 4 IP devices. And also, this one also has SFP features, so we can use it for fiber optic link as well, which makes us available for fiber optic link transmission, which is high speed. And these all are output of 30 watts of power for the PoE ports. Okay, now that's pretty much it for all these models. Now I'm going to do a quick connection with this IP camera right here to one of our PoE switches to see how easy it is. So for an IP camera, we don't need that much power, so we don't need the high power PoE switch, and we don't need that much ports because there's only 1 camera right here. We're going to use a very basic 4-port PoE switch, unmanaged 4-port PoE switch. Here I have the power cord. Once I plug this in, it will turn on the PoE switch. And now I'll just use a real simple Ethernet cable. Now I'm just going to use an Ethernet cable, connect it to one of these 4 ports, and then connect it to my camera. So you can see the indicator is on here, so it means this IP camera has received power and data now. Alright, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to leave them at the section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.